My support group proposal is on dissociative identity disorder. And dissociative identity disorder is also called multiple personality disorders, and it manifests in children who are experiencing long-term sexual, physical, emotional, and mental abuse, and they're completely powerless. And the brain's way of coping with that in some children is to, when their personality is integrating, it doesn't integrate properly. Instead, it separates into different parts or pieces. Okay, so basically, dissociative identity disorder manifests when a child is very young, usually between the ages of 2 and 6, suffers long-term physical, mental, emotional, or sexual abuse. And the developing personality in the child doesn't achieve integration. Instead, various parts of their personality become separated and remain isolated by dissociative amnesic boundaries. So basically, they will develop different identities inside of them, but those identities will not be aware of each other, and the host person will not be aware of them. So they will switch to different identities without being aware of it, and those identities will take over. Will you click it, please? Basically, that's what we're saying. Let's see. Each different identity or alter has a special job. A lot of them, as children, is to take on whatever abuse that they are having put upon them. Another job might be to try to fight off abusers.
Okay.
Like one of my friends is a girl, but she has a male alter. He's been around the longest, and he is very extremely protective of the system. So he will protect the system. So if anybody was to try to fight her, he will come out and take care of that. And different alters, like, they might, their way of viewing the world might be different, or the way they view the abuse might be different. There may be, a child might have alters that their job is to enjoy whatever's happening to them in order to get it over with. That might be their job. And yet the host has no idea that these other alters exist, and they don't know what's happening. So they may be aware a little bit of the abuse, but the whole nature of dissociative identity disorder is you can't handle it, other identities handle it for you, and they keep it a secret. Because whatever's going on is so incredibly too much for your brain to bear, they don't want you to know about it. It's all about keeping the system safe. Okay, okay. I belong to a support group online. I belong to 2 of them. They're secret support groups. I'm not going to give you the name of them. But I've been dating someone with multiple personalities or dissociative identity disorder, and I joined a support group that was partners of people with dissociative identity disorder. They allowed me to join the main group also, and I've been able to ask a lot of questions, receive a lot of support. It's been extremely helpful to me because not only have I met all these people and I've had a chance to realize what they're going through, but I've also been having panic attacks, and they've been extremely supportive of me, because most people with dissociative identity disorder also have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, so they understand anxiety very well. Today I asked them if anybody had any pictures that they could share from my PowerPoint, and someone's alter, I protected their identity, so we'll just say C, put this picture up and said, I asked her to explain to me what this meant to her, and she said, I'm the middle one, and the others, which means the other alters, are shouting at me things I have to do or say or not do. Some are mad at me. That would be H, B, and K, and M. Or M just looks and stands there not doing anything. M is the host of the system. And as usual, I am all alone. She's 16. The host, I'm not sure how old the host body, maybe in her 30s, maybe.
Okay.
We click it, please. Okay, so each alter has their own gender identity, self-view, emotions, sexual orientation. Some of them have ages and birth dates, history, belief systems, and memories that are separate from the host. Some alters work together well, or can work with the host well to get things done. Other times there is a lot of conflict because everyone has different views on things. In the situation of my 2 friends, one of them has an alter who doesn't believe in having sexual affairs. There's another alter in her system that really is very sexually active. So those 2 do not get along. at all. So, and the thing is that when one alter is not out hosting the system, they are, I think of it as back here somewhere. And a lot of times they're talking or they're hanging out, they're having conversations, they're doing things. Sometimes the host person can hear what's going on, sometimes she can't. But they communicate with each other. So this can cause a lot of problems and a lot of chaos for a system. Will you click it, please? Okay. Effects of dissociative identity disorder. Mood swings, feelings of isolation, feelings of being alone, being misunderstood, higher rates of alcohol dependency. A lot of times people try to cope by drinking. Depression and higher rate of suicide attempts. Even if the host is not suicidal, you can have alters that are suicidal, or you can have alters that are fighting for control. Some of them don't always get the logic that if you hurt the body, you go too. Some of them might think, if I kill the host, I live on. So they will come out and try to hurt you. I'm not saying that happens very often, but it does happen. Trust and attachment issues, eating disorders. You got a bunch of different people coming out. Everybody wants to eat something, or some people, you might even have an alter that's anorexic. Like, these things happen. Sleep disorders. Both of my friends with DID, they don't hardly sleep. My one friend, when she goes to sleep, a lot of times, someone else will wake up. If they don't come out during the daytime, they want to come out. So she goes to sleep, they'll get up, do things. Hang out, eat, drink, delete her text messages, whatever. Difficulty processing emotions. There are times when someone with the ID will feel everybody's emotions all at once. So you may be feeling happy, guilty, angry, sad, depressed, all at the same time, and to be able to process through all that can be very extremely overwhelming. You could please. I chose the ID for my support group proposal because I have been witnessing the two people in my life, the obstacles that they had. I will tell you, one, that the ID sounds pretty crazy, and it can be. If you met them and you didn't know, you would never know. They seem as normal as anybody else. Actually, more put together. The girl I've been dating, I haven't met one friend yet that's like, oh my gosh, I love her so much. She's my favorite. Everyone you've ever dated, she's my favorite. And in my head, I'm going, that's good. I get to know her a little better, and in a few months, I'm going to explain to you the situations. I don't want people to judge her. Getting to understand them has made me realize how hard it is for them to find therapists that are capable of dealing with their issues or understanding it or even believing it's real. I believe that understanding and compassion about DID is imperative. Click, please. Goals of therapy. Normally, short-term goals are to address issues of self-esteem, trust, trauma, stress, anxiety, communication issues among alters and hosts. Long-term goals, usually it's very expensive. You gotta find the right person and the right team to do it, but is to get the host and the alters integrated. So instead of them being separate, they all start working together and become whole, one. Some things that happen, a lot of times what happens is that the host person, with all these other people integrated into their system, has to deal with what life is like now. So your alcohol tolerance, your pain tolerance, your emotions, your beliefs, these things will change because everyone's being put together. Will you click, please? The more that we understand about DID, the more we will be able to treat and advocate for those living with this disorder. That's my whole goal with this project that I've been doing, is that when you guys are counselors, anyone comes to you saying, I have dissociative identity disorder, you will have some basis of what it means, and you won't be afraid, or you'll advocate for them, find them the right person, and not be freaked out, because it seems like a lot of people get freaked out. There's a lot of stereotypes about DID. Media reputation of DID, think of certain movies. There's a lot of movies out there. The Identity, I can't think of one right now. Where there's a person with multiple personalities, and one of them is a killer, kills everybody. So that's what people think. They think, oh, that's scary. Or stigma attached to surviving child abuse. If you know someone has multiple personalities, you probably also know they've been extremely abused. There's a lot of stigma attached to child abuse survivors. And also the nature of how DID works, which is for everyone in the system to keep it a secret as much as possible, works against being able to get help. Click, please. Myths are dissocial identity disorder is rare. Truth: between 1 and 5% of people are living with dissociative disorders. A city of our size with, I don't know how many we have now, but about 150,000 people, has between 150 and 450 people living with a dissociative disorder. For something that you consider very rare, that's a lot of people. I would love to be a therapist to take on those people. Will you click, please? Those with DID are dangerous. Talked about with the movies. I think it's create a feeling of fear. We also are afraid of what we do not understand. And the nature of the alters is to be secretive, protect the system, protect the host from knowing things. And the truth is that those with DID often have self-harming alters at some point, but rarely do alters harm others. They don't get mad at other people, they get mad at the host of the body. Will you click, please? Myth: DID is not a real disorder. I've done a ton of research. What I come up with is 30% of therapists do not believe that alternate personalities are possible. Some in the mental health field believe that alternate identities are created only under the influence of a therapist. A therapist may suggest that you have different identities and then all of a sudden they start coming out. Maybe that does happen. Maybe in like hypnosis or something, therapists have made that happen. Alternate personalities are real. I will give you an example of 6 months was the scariest experience I've had. We were sitting at the kitchen table. We were having a hard conversation that she did not feel comfortable having. She started having an anxiety attack. I put on some like meditation music. I was like, just calm down, it's okay. I look over and I see she's totally blanked out. Like, it looked like, what's the name of that movie? Oh, I can't remember it. But like, there was like nothing. It was like a twitch. But like staring at the wall and nothing. It was the scariest thing ever. So she had dissociated into an alter that is a small child, and that another alter explained to me, well, I don't mean to be rude, she said, but I think he's slow. So someone that just has no connection whatsoever. Tapped her on the leg, was like, hey, are you okay? She snapped her head at me, like peered into my soul, very scary, and then stuck her head in her coat and started whimpering. So I got really close to her and I was like, are you okay? What's your name? She was like, Elena. She was crying. He's gonna hurt me, he's gonna get me. He's gonna get me. I was like, no, you're safe, it's okay. No one's gonna get you, you're safe here. He's gonna get me, I have to go, I have to leave. She got up, walked out of my house, walked to the middle of the street, I ran after her. She was so frightened and didn't know what to do. This is someone that never comes out. That was created because they were abused as a child. It was an alter that was created for abuse and was so damaged that they hide back there, they never come out. She came out, she didn't know how to leave and let someone else take over where she left. She fainted in the middle of the street. I thought I was gonna have to do CPR. So I was like, oh, no. I tapped her on her leg, like slapped her on her leg, and she came right back. Oh, my leg, what happened? No one on this planet can tell me that DID is not real. And when I hear it, especially from mental health professionals or professors at the school, I find it highly offensive. That's my personal story. I hope you believe me. Will you click, please? Outcomes for DID support group. The hope is that members and their alters can find support and healing by meeting with others that have multiple identities. Support groups will lead members to a reduction in feelings of stress and anxiety. Hosts and alters will have greater positive feelings of acceptance of themselves.